Okie dokie. How are we doing?
Okay, we are ready to begin. Welcome, everybody. I am Sally Lipsky with Plant-Based Pittsburgh. Okay.
I'm Sally.
And we have Linda Jones has told cheese is probably the most difficult thing. Well, it's addicting. So we don't want to, as on a whole food plant-based diet, it's difficult to let go of that cheese. So Alexa, if you are new, welcome. You are coming at a right time. And if you could please put yourself on mute if you haven't already. And if you have any questions, put them in the chat. There'll be time for questions or any comments. Put it in the chat. I'll be monitoring the chat. And we will, because Linda's vigorously stirring here, she's got to go. Okay, so I hand it on over to wonderful cook Linda Jones.
Welcome to my cheese world. So, before we get started, I do have to bring up something. Show you. This is a book about dairy cheese. I recommend it. Came out about 4 or 5 years ago, Dr. Neil Barnard. It talks about the bad and the ugly of dairy cheese, how it's made, the ingredients in it, what it does to our body, why some of us are addicted to it, or used to be addicted to it, and it touches upon the environment and animals. So I really recommend it. It's a real eye-opener. So let's get started. So we all know that whole food plant-based eating and vegan eating is beans, nuts, seeds, grains, fruits, vegetables. But I found some basic cheese recipes, and these are my best and my only cheese recipes that I love, that I'm sharing with you today. Really can expand what you eat and make your meals a little more exciting. So I'm reading a Forks Over Knives magazine last year, and there was a charcuterie board, which caught my eye. And we did a charcuterie board in Sewickley last year.
Yes. And
it featured a hard cheese, and I thought, hard cheese? You know, the vegan cheese that I know that's sold is questionable. There's a lot of oil in it. There's a lot of salt in it. And it just wasn't palatable to me. So I was really interested, especially because this recipe that we're doing now had 2 ingredients. One was unusual, butternut squash. The vegan cheeses that I know about are always cashew or bean or sunflower seeds. So this is great. So this has, and it's your last recipe on your paper. This has butternut squash in it. And the other ingredient that threw me when I was reading it was agar. Agar or agar. You say potato, I say potato. Some people say agar, I don't know. But it is a red algae seaweed. It comes in like 5 different forms. It comes in a block, it comes in strands, it comes in flakes, it comes in powders. I have a powder form over there. UPC. I'm waiting for this to come to a boil. So it's easier to use the powder form. The thing about agar is it's a great thickener. The gelatin that I knew and you knew growing up was made from the collagen of animals. I didn't want to use that. So this is a plant-based gelatin, if you will. I have a little package of it over there. The thing with agar is you have to combine it with cold water, and it has to be heated to the boiling point. That's what I'm waiting for now. And then it has to simmer on a low heat for 5 minutes. And then it does its magic, but it does its magic quite well. Here's a pimento. I think the pimento cheese you're going to sample soon is the second one, the pimento hard cheese. It comes from Lulu's pimento dip recipe, but I changed it and made it into a hard cheese. That's what agar does. Agar allows you to make a cheese product that you can cut and slice and spread. Now, it does not melt like we would like it to melt. Vegan cheeses aren't great at melting. This is like a big industry now. All these manufacturers are competing with each other to try to get a melting cheese. The reason why they don't melt is because of casein. Casein is enzyme or protein in all dairy milk, and that allows dairy milk to melt. I mean, they're getting closer, they're getting better at it, but rennet has to be copied and the casein has to be copied before the vegans will eat it. And evidently, we vegans are very particular because we don't accept the vegan cheeses as well as we do the vegan plant milks and the vegan, what am I thinking of? Yogurts. Those are more acceptable. Vegan cheeses aren't real popular now, they say, because I guess we're waiting to have that exact taste and that exact melting point, which doesn't happen. So into the pot, I put my agar, milk, plant milk, which is oat milk. It has to be cold to start out with. Tahini, some curry powder, and I think that's it. So I think, Linda, you have two Lindas today. You're so lucky. Linda. We're trying to get this to simmer. Yeah, it should start. Let me know if it starts to boil. Oh, yeah, it is. Oh, good. 5 minutes. Okay, wait, I have to put this on. So a couple of my recipes I have labeled in my book, WF, and it's not for Whole Foods. It's for work fast. Because with Agar, I have my Converse sneakers on. With Agar, you got to work fast. Okay, so that's simmering. Once that simmers, we're going to put it into here and get the rest going. So while we're waiting for that to simmer, we can really pass out our goodies. So this is, I'm going to mention, this is a plant milk that I use. It's oat milk. I like it because it is powdered. All you do is add water and you have oat. We don't drink oat milk or any kind of plant milk regularly. It's not like I have a bowl of cereal every day. If we have oatmeal, we usually put water in it. So I was always not having milk in my refrigerator or milk that had expired and I had to throw it out or go to the grocery store. So I found this like a year or so ago, and they reformulated. You used to have to put it in a blender. It was a pain you did. Now you just have to stir it and whisk it in a cup of cold water and 2 tablespoons of this. It's just oats, and you stir it up and you have oat milk. So you can make a half cup, you can make 3/4 cup, you can make whatever you want. It's a little pricey, but it's worth the convenience to have this. Somebody I know just traveled and they took this on vacation with them to take their milk. Okay, here's the agar. This I just happened to get this 2 weeks ago from Amazon. This is the powder. They said I recommend getting the powder. And then here's this. Okay. So we're gonna.
The brand here is I Love Me additive. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh. That is. Now, some vegan cheeses use tapioca starch or tapioca flour. That's the same product. And you'll get it to gel, and you'll get it to ooey and gooey. In fact, Brittany's on here. Brittany Giroudi's recipe for spinach artichoke dip uses the tapioca starch or tapioca flour. That comes together quite nicely. You have to combine things in the Vitamix. Then you take it to the stove and stir, and it'll come together. It'll clump. You have to whisk and watch it. And then she puts it into a casserole dish with spinach and artichokes, and that's her spinach artichoke recipe. So that's a nice recipe to have. That's one of my favorites. I did make it. We're always thinking about mozzarella. I took her spinach artichoke recipe without the spinach and without the artichokes. In other words, just the cheese ingredients, and I put it in the blender, as it says. Put it on top of the stove, like we're doing now, whisk. When it started to come together, I put it it's complicated. I put it back in the Vitamix just to sit, and then I went to my stove and did some agar, which was 1 cup of cold water and 1 tablespoon of agar powder. And I did that until it came together and boiled, then simmered for 5 minutes. Then I mixed it in with Brittany's mozzarella from that recipe, and I made a mozzarella cheese that was very good. It's a little laborious because there's steps. You mix it here, and then you go to well, I have Brittany's spinach artichoke dip. I made it. I'm just telling you, I made it into a hard cheese last week, and it works. I can give that to you if you want that recipe. So it's basically these ingredients, but they have to be increased. That's another thing. If you take a recipe, like I took Lulu's pimento dip, and I decided to make it into a hard cheese. So I needed to up all her ingredients as far as seasonings go. Because once agar doesn't have a taste, but once you mix it with a cup of water and put it into another recipe, it dilutes the seasoning, dilutes the taste. So if you'll see, so there's pimento cheese, hard cheese dip. If you know her dip recipe, in fact, Sally, did everybody get a card with her?
No, but you can, because on the back of the plant-based Pittsburgh cards,
Get it, boss?
yes, I have Lulu's dip because we did a table event at Allegheny Health Network on Thursday, another woman and I, and that's what we demonstrated, and people said, okay, where's the recipe? And there I gave them one.
Okay, so if you look at it,
and we'll get it also, people want. Whoa. Yeah, anybody else that wants one, sure.
Cheese. Okay, calls for almond butter. Can you use the powdered almond, defatted almond, and then rehydrate it to make almond butter? I've never tried that. You probably.
I don't see why not. I think that you can. Yeah, I would say.
To my cheese, I whisk in my nutritional yeast and my lemon juice. This has to be done after. Okay. Oops, oh. Also, when you're using this, you have to have your mold ready to go. Work fast. Because this is starting, as soon as you remove the agar mixture from the heat, it'll start to solidify. It's like amazing. Okay, I whisked in the nutritional yeast, I whisked in the lemon juice. Now I'm going to stir in. I decided you can add other things to this. I decided to stir in basil today. Oh, you know what? I should not have done that, but we'll do it anyway. It'll work. The basil should have been put in last. So this goes into your blender. Get it in there quickly. And this is where the heat of the Vitamix motor helps you. Switch plugs. Thinking that we're good. Okay. Now I'm going to stir in the chives.
Linda, excuse me, what setting are you using on the Vitamix?
I went up to 10. I started at 2 or 3 and then went right up to 10.
Yeah, she started at 2 or 3 and went up to 10.
I'm hoping that this works. We're not sampling this today, so if it doesn't work, that's okay. We'll have cheese sauce over pasta tonight, right? Okay, so I've made this in this container, but I've also made it in a bowl before, a dome, which makes a nice presentation. You just have to make sure you line your bowl with some plastic wrap.
Then you use silicone containers.
Probably. I don't have silicone containers, so But you can see by the time you're done, doing this, it's starting to gel already in your container.
Look at that thing there. It's already solid.
Yeah, it's solid. It goes fast.
I want to lick that. I'm so tempted.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell that it's really
Let's see.
solidified.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It solidifies fast.
It really works.
So we've done that, and in fact, you can tell here, I should pass it around. In about 3 to 6 hours, it's firm. It's good to go.
Without refrigeration?
Yes, I would refrigerate, yes. Agar, here's the agar itself does not have to be refrigerated. But in the product, I would.
Now, if you slice that and reheat it, does it melt?
It doesn't melt. That's a big debate, a big vegan debate. Does it melt or doesn't it melt? It doesn't melt. If you want the melting, if you want the cheese to be completely flat and bubbly, it's never going to do that because of the lack of pacing. But it does, it'll get hot and it'll get soft, but it's not going to drip melt.
If you want a melting, then don't put the agar because there are cheese that are non-melt sauce.
Right.
They're cheese sauce.
I've mentioned, let's mention these real briefly, then we can dig in. This cream cheese you're going to taste today, the vegan sunflower cream cheese spread is very good. You should refrigerate it for a few hours before you eat it. It doesn't taste that great right after making it. It needs to be refrigerated. I've used this as also a salad dressing, but if you're going to add more milk and use it as a salad dressing, again, increase the spices, increase the seasonings. The pimento hard cheese is what you're going to taste today. The recipe is the second one. I put some jarred pimentos in there just make it look pretty. You can put nuts in the middle if you want. You can do other decorations if you want. Oh, we're also going to have this today. Alyssa and Laura Beck cheese sauce. You may know Stan and Laura and Alyssa. They come to some of our meetings. Yeah. Alyssa is coming out with a book in the fall. This recipe is in it, although I changed it. I never met a recipe that I didn't like to change, but I changed it. I added nutritional yeast and I added miso to hers. But I like this for a basic macaroni and cheese sauce because I have grandchildren that could eat macaroni and cheese breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I didn't want something too spicy and I wanted something neutral. So we're going to taste this. It's a neutral cheese sauce.
Do you use any particular squash?
I used all different ones.
As long as zucchini, squash, or
I don't know if I would have zucchini, but I used
the yellow one. Yeah, we call that.
Yeah, the yellow
butternut,
butternut, sweet dumpling, those. Although, as I said earlier, I ran out of squash a few weeks ago and I used sweet potatoes, so that would work. You could try that.
Oh, yeah.
You could try that. Okay, so this is the mac and cheese. Very mild. I hope it's warm. The next one, my lasagna casserole cheese recipe, is just basic. It goes into the blender. And then you can make it with vegetable lasagna or any vegetable casserole you want. If you're using a marinara sauce in the dish, just don't stir it or you'll end up with pink sauce. You have to more like dollop. So it says my lasagna casserole, just dollop that on the top. The next one, Chef Ronald Russell's nacho cheese recipe. This is a funny story. Chef AJ was interviewing him. He's co-owner of Sun Cafe in California. And she had him on and she was saying, oh, Ronald, I loved your nacho cheese we had last week at the restaurant. He said, well, I'll give it to you. So he was so gracious and kind. On air, he gave out to the immediate world his nacho cheese recipe. It's really good.
So in other words, these are sauces. And if I add a good ratio of the agar, I can convert it.
You could.
To hard.
Yes,
you have the ratio.
With his Chef Russell's nacho cheese, this is what I would do. I would put it all into the blender like he says. Let it sit. Go to your stove. Get a cup of cold water. 1 tablespoon of agar. Let it come to a boil. Let it simmer for 5 minutes on a low heat. Then immediately put it into the blender, like I just did, and you'll have a hard cheese.
Oh, okay.
So you can do it The way we did it today,
One
the
how much
agar was mixed
okay.
in. We mixed it in.
Yeah, I
with
know.
that recipe.
The agar
This one.
to water is what? What's the formula? What's the ratio?
1 cup water. Or
And
liquid,
1 tablespoon agar,
1 tablespoon agar.
and then boil it, and then add right
bring it-
away to any of these cheese
Start it
thing.
out, whisk it. You have to whisk the whole time.
Ah.
Whisk it till it comes to a boil. Let it come to a boil, lower heat, and simmer, whiskey for 5 minutes. It needs the heat to activate. Okay, so we talked about my lasagna cheese casserole. We talked about Beth Ronald's and Brittany spinach artichoke dip is very good. That's a cheese. It would be a cheese, a clumpy cheese. So you have some dips here. You have some spreads. You have some hard cheeses, and that's my cheese world.
Wow.
Sounds good. Do you have any questions?
Yes. Questions from
And we can get going. This is
online or the
this is the
studio
mac and
audience,
cheese that I
whatever.
Sally, I have a question.
Yes.
I get the water out of my tofu down to the point where I consider it cheese. Is that when you get it way firm, is that considered cheese?
So the question is, if you put the water out of tofu so it is firm, can you consider it cheese? Sure, I don't see why. I mean, what would you use it?
Like white cheese, you mean?
You or
Yeah,
crumbled on
I use
something?
it for tofu lettuce wraps,
Oh, yeah.
because I'm trying to get what they have at PF Chang's.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a great idea. Sure.
But you don't put anything in it.
No, I just weight it down and, put it in cheesecloth and until it gets, lowers it by a half in a few days.
So you just want the texture of
Yeah.
it's like a
And then-
pseudo cheese.
yeah, to
hard
get the
cheese.
way- Sure.
That's a good idea.
And so I have a couple questions here online.
yes.
Have you used lactic acid before you give it that tang?
No, what gives it a tag, I think, is the addition of lemon.
Lemon, of course.
Yeah, do you want to pass?
Yes, which is likewise acidic.
Yeah, it is acidic, sure.
We could come up and just grab.
Okay, so I have another question.
Pass it out.
Could you add tapioca to the first recipe instead of agar for a creamy cheese?
Yeah, you could, but it won't harden.
You
I
could,
have
but it
done
won't
that.
harden. Do you hear that?
I don't
Yeah.
think the tapioca will harden.
No,
Yeah,
it wouldn't,
yeah.
but it is really nice texture too.
Okay.
It's not soupy, but really stringy.
Okay,
It's a stringy cheese. Hard, no. Sliceable, no.
yeah,
But
Yeah.
stringy, good.
yeah.
It's like with Brittany's spinach artichoke.
What's that?
Yeah.
It's the same result.
Let me see.
And someone says you can make feta by marinating tofu cubes.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Similar to her, but she does it with whatchamacallit.
And my Parmesan cheese is,
Jimmy.
I do garlic powder, onion, fried onion flakes, cashews, and nutritional yeast and grind them up. That's my Parmesan.
What, do that again? You do put nuts, right?
I
For your
put in
Parmesan.
cashews.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
if you
said
want
that.
enough free, you can use oatmeal and just grind it with,
Seeds too. You can-
yeah, your garlic powder
Yeah.
and your nutritional yeast and some onion, the dried onion
Yeah,
flakes.
yeah, I do that.
Oh, you know what? I have extra crackers up here too.
Either one. I like walnuts.
It is very good, thank you.
Okay, do you know,
I have crackers up here too.
You can ask her the texture if you want.
Excuse me, here, one other question.
do you know how much tapioca you'd add to the original recipe for a stretchy cheese?
Wait a minute.
I don't have any.
What's the original recipe?
I guess not.
But original, for what?
Yes, I will share the Parmesan, Harriet, yes.
What's the
Oh, any original.
I wish all you online folks were here.
Oh, I see.
This is
Of
a
course, we'd be very crowded, but that's okay.
Please take extra. I have extra. We planned for 30.
I didn't get any, perhaps.
What's your extra?
Yeah, yes. I'm so eager.
See, let me show you this. This is really.
Only you didn't get any.
Yes, the nacho cheese will be with the recipes. All this will be together. You'll get a bunch of recipes, folks.
Seven recipes.
7 plus more.
This is my whole cheese life right here.
Cheesy Linda.
Cheese. I hope you like them.
Oh, it's delicious.
What is this?
Oh,
my,
the mac and
mac and
cheese.
cheese.
Mhm.
It's very mild.
How about the
I like it.
Oh my God, this is so pretty. Look at this. Everybody look. And Marty brought some
I'm going to associate them with tray.
grapes.
Okay.
Okay, online folks, this is the tray that she made. It could be, well, I'm having a hard time here, but it's pretty. Okay.
You want me to hold it for you?
Yes, the camera's off. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that's my favorite too. I have tasted so many mac and cheeses. Because I wanted to desperately get one that my grandkids would like and I like, and it's just neutral, it's mild.
Be careful, like it's not the top.
It's like a basic mac and cheese.
This is somebody saying. Yeah.
You're pretty big there.
Does the cheese trap have a lot of recipes? I don't remember.
Yes, Drina Burton.
Oh, Drina Burton's recipes. Okay. Yes.
Drina Burton has.
Remember what Neil Barnard said, cheese is like a block. Dairy cheese is like a block of carcinogens. I will never forget that when he said that.
Linda, what's in this?
That's pretty.
The one you just made? No, this is
No, that's the very first one.
the cream cheese.
Yes.
Oh, there you go. The cream
Sunflower.
cheese is in
Cream
there.
cheese is the very first recipe.
It's not sliceable.
Sunflower seeds.
Everybody need a napkin? I can spend this and stay on.
Also, if you have my book, Beyond Cancer, there's cheese recipes in that. Yeah, there is the cashew cheese. There's, I think Brittany's, I don't even remember.
Parmesan is there. Parmesan is it?
And Parmesan's in there?
I think so.
Okay.
Because I put it in the.
Cream cheese. Yeah, there's Brittany's cream cheese in there.
I remember Parmesan was in the.
Um,
mushroom recipe.
Harriet, you will get, believe me,
Okay, more mac and
simple.
cheese. Coming around.
3 or 4 ingredients. Mhm.
Yes.
That's my type of cheese. Oh, Linda.
Oh, do you have the book?
Linda. Oh, excuse me.
Do you have her book?
No, more mac
Okay.
and cheese.
Well,
This one is.
her book has a very good cream cheese recipe. 4 ingredients, correct?
Yeah, it's
For me, that's the best.
I should have brought it, yeah, it looks better.
But it's on
Sure.
not.
So, yeah, I have it in, if you're interested, you can, I'll bring it from the car. You can look at it.
Oh, that one is an easy one, but very, very good. You know what I do? I put some cranberry to mimic Panera's cranberry cheese. Yeah, because I was addicted to cranberry cheese spread, and you can put vegetable in it. Her recipe, it's only green. I think you might have it in lime.
These two are great. I didn't try this one yet.
That's my favorite. And then
Beyond, yeah.
what you do, and then you just add anything.
Oh, I think we're out of recipes.
What's agar made out of?
You all get the recipes tomorrow.
Agar's made out of red algae seaweed.
Red algae.
Which you use it for.
So good.
You know what,
Oh, here's the fork.
Linda? When you in the picnic,
One minute.
Yeah.
If you signed in, I don't have any more recipes. If you signed in on our
Who is it? Here, you can have this. Here you go. I mean,
Oh, okay. Here we go.
oh, no, somebody. You know what, Linda, if
Yes.
I'm not mistaken, the one you gave us during the picnic was hard, really hard cheese, not gelatinous like that. Do you remember the recipe for that? It was
Yes.
really hard.
That was,
Is it here? You remember when?
no, you know what I did?
Mm-hmm.
I did the your pimento dip. Because somebody from the
Online
south came
folks,
up to
this
me
is
and
a
said,
really easy. I'll give this to you tomorrow
But
too.
it was hard. The one you gave me, you remember you shared cheese with us in the picnic.
I
It
thought I
was
meant the-
really
I thought
hard.
I made the pimento dip.
No, that she.
Well, then if it was a hard cheese, then it was.
It was really hard.
It was this
It
one.
wasn't gelatinous.
It was this one.
It's probably that, yeah.
But this is the same egg, it's the same agar.
Yeah, I know, but the ratio could be different.
No, just one.
Any other questions for the online
This is
folks?
solid, this is solid right now.
They are excellent. I mean, as a taste tester here, you will get these recipes and they're all
One of
excellent.
them.
And I made-
Linda,
Butternut
I
squash.
made my own crackers. I love to do this. I got this lavash. This is a nice trick. A lot of crackers have sodium, a lot of sodium or oil, and we have to watch sodium. So I found this at the co-op.
oh, yeah, I have that.
And I brushed it with, what is it called? Aquafaba. I brushed it with aquafaba and then sprinkled everything bagel seasoning on it. And then baked them. Bake them, we'll cut them into triangles, brush the aquafaba, sprinkle, and I have a no sodium added, everything bagel seasoning. Then I cut it into triangles. I baked them at 403 minutes on one side, flipping them over 3 minutes on the other side. And these are the crackers. And I made. One of them I put the bagel seasoning on, the other half I put just powder, garlic and onion powder. And I made my own crackers.
I have a question. What if, because I really wanted the hard cheese, what if I bake that thingy?
You baked it?
Yeah, I have seen recipes where they baked the mixture.
You would have to heat the agar first. You mean you're gonna heat the
Yeah,
agar
I know,
first?
but afterwards you bake it to evaporate most. Hasn't everybody done that? No?
No.
Yeah, I'll bring the recipe sometime. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because that will harden it.
The first time I made this, Jimmy said, this tastes like Velveeta. I mean, the consistency is like Velveeta. Not the taste, but the consistency is that you can get one that. I didn't say it because Velveeta is all salt. Yeah, but it's the consistency that matches it. That you can slice it and you can spread it and you can cube it. I mean, if you want a harder cheese, I can't imagine wanting a harder cheese, but if you want a harder cheese, you could just increase the agar.
No, I will look for that thing, you know.
Yeah.
But I remember.
Oh, I'm sorry. Before we can, people in person here can stay and chat, obviously, but
Yeah, did you
before the online folks leave, I just want to make an announcement. There is the Vegan Summerfest at the University of Pittsburgh, Johnstown, which is you can go for the weekend or 5 days. It's July 5th through 9th, and there'll be people from certainly Plant-Based Pittsburgh will be there. And look at these people. Neil Barnard, who wrote the cheese, it's going to be there. Michael Greger, he's always great. Michael Clapper, Juliana Heaver, Kim Williams. So all these plus workshops. Brittany Giroudi is going to do something. I'm going to do something. And so, yeah, I say come, one and all, if you can. You register online. The early registration's up to April 30th. And it's you can stay right there. It's really nice accommodations right on campus. It's a residential, or you stay off campus. So if you are going, we're going to try to all get together for lunch on Saturday, and you'll hear from me. Sign up for the Plant-Based Pittsburgh newsletter and it will be there. Okay.
This is different from the summit with 50 people in it.
This is in person.
Oh, yeah, there's
This-
another summit online.
Yeah, that's a different, that's
that's
totally,
different.
yeah, that's
Okay.
John and Ocean Robbins.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah,
I was very confused.
this is in person.
Oh, really?
So, yeah,
Where will it be again?
Johnstown University.
Oh, yeah,
It's
they
a
do.
North American Vegetarian
Oh,
Society.
yeah, every
is
year. Yeah.
Every year, and it's so close.
Yeah. And you can stay overnight there, right?
And you stay right there, yeah, on a residential, yes. And the other thing too, this is July and June, there'll be a, at the National Health Association in Cleveland. There'll be some of us there too. Okay. Well, I want to thank you, everyone who's online. If you will get the recording and you will get all the recipes. So give me, I don't know, at least 24 hours okay, to get this together. Thank you, everyone.
Sorry.